not been able to but he's been kind enough, gracious enough to record actually a message, and he has preempted some questions. So to begin with, we'll play that video so that by the time everybody settles down, then we will have. So all my panelists are sitting in the front. So the way we go about it is our keynote speaker, Dilip Bhai Mehta, he'll make a presentation. Then each one of my panelists, they come on stage and they express their point of view. So can we start with the video, please?
Yeah,
Yes.
sure. Yeah. ये start करो.
Namaskar. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My apologies could not be with you in Mumbai today due to certain reasons, but it's great to see you all and talk to you. Siroya Jewelers is a totally gold centric company. We deal in all types of gold jewelry at the wholesale, retail, and manufacturing level. But when the young generation, my son, joined in, he worked with us for a few months and then he said, I would like to do something different. What can we do which is going to be the future of jewelry? And after doing his research, he came to us and he presented a document which said that there is approximately 40 million carat short supply of rough diamonds. The demand is superb, and there is a new category which can fulfill this demand, and that is lab grown diamonds. I had not heard or I did not know much about lab grown diamonds at that time. So, upon study, he and his team convinced us that this is the future of jewelry. We did a lot of study together also, and finally, he convinced me that if we want to go into expansion, if we want to survive in the jewelry industry, we have to think differently. And this is my advice to everybody that if you want to enter the lab grown diamond space, you have to first be sure about it yourself, get convinced 100%. If you're convinced, it'll be easy to convince your customers. And once your customers, who are the retailers, they are convinced, it'll be a fantastic flow of jewelry from the manufacturer to the end users. When Rohan came to me with the idea, the first person we spoke to about the lab grown space is right now here. And I would say he is the reason why we started this thought process also. That is Dilip Mehta. Dilip Bhai, thank you very much. When you said to my son that this is the future of jewelry, it sealed the idea within our company and we decided to take the plunge. The next thing was, how do we do it? And Rohan did some more research and he actually identified Alter. Alter is a world-class brand which is already known in the West and also in the East. He introduced me to Amish Bhai, to Ritesh Bhai, and to Hitesh Bhai. Hitesh Bhai has a fantastic reputation as being one of the visionary leaders of the jewelry industry. And this led to the creation of Evermore. Evermore, the main mission of Evermore is to enable people to wear jewelry of their dreams. Not cheap jewelry. We want to be aspirational. We want to satisfy every woman's need. Whenever any woman goes into a jewelry store, if she's buying diamonds, she has to make a small compromise. Either her budget is limited. If her budget is limited, she will have to make a compromise in the color of the diamond, the clarity of the diamond, or maybe the size of the diamond. So here at Evermore, we give them the choice to remove all these and buy what they want. So we are satisfying their aspirations as well as their thoughts and their desire, and we fulfill that gap which is there between their desire and their budget. And today we offer a bigger, better, and bolder diamond. I always say to everybody that if you want a diamond which has got history, which has got rarity, please buy a natural diamond. But if you want something which is bolder, which is modern, which is technology, then you go for lab grown. I have come across various jewelers and friends of mine in the industry who are a little skeptical about keeping lab grown diamond jewelry in their stores. I asked this question. We are keeping 21 karat jewelry, we keep 18 karat jewelry, 22 karat jewelry. We have jewelry which are studded with color stones, emeralds, rubies, sapphires. Why not lab grown diamonds? This actually offers one or more choice to their discerning customers. They get the power of exercising their choice what they want to buy, whether they want to buy a natural diamond or a lab grown diamond. It is left to them. So, if given the choice in the same store, the customer will buy what is right for them. So many of my jeweler friends are a little skeptical about keeping lab grown diamond jewelry with other jewelry in the same store, but we had to find out and do some research ourselves. So we kept the same jewelry, the jewelry in one store, which is our Bardubai store. And in fact, I'm very delighted to tell you that, and we were all surprised, because of the additional choice being offered at the retail store, the footfall increased and our actual natural diamond jewelry also sale increased. So I think it's a win-win for both, and these two categories are going to coexist. I believe every jeweler should offer it as a choice for their customers and let the customers decide what they want to buy. I don't think any choice, any category is going to cannibalize the other one. I think they will coexist, and this is the future of the diamond jewelry industry. We should not shy away from it. The signing of the SEPA agreement between India and UAE is going to be another milestone for this industry. India is the powerhouse for manufacture of lab-grown diamond jewelry. I believe they will become the largest, and they will remain the largest for a long time to come when it comes to lab-grown diamonds. And Dubai being the jewelry destination of the world, we have the audience from all over the world. In fact, in UAE, we have 192 nationalities which call home. So we will be able to offer it to every taste on this earth. And I think everybody should take part in this. And at Evermore, we have a fantastic offering. We provide a complete support system for the retailers in way of staff training. We have the full merchandising. We offer also the marketing support. In fact, we've got partners in uh, three countries right now. We have in UK, we have in Bahrain, and we have in UAE, and all of them are very, very happy. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we should all work together and we should try to educate the consumers on the benefits of buying these diamonds. We should try and form a body which will do a joint marketing. We should be very transparent in our businesses. We should try and insist on certification being provided by recognized certification authorities or agencies. I believe all in all, the lab grown diamonds is the future of the diamond jewelry industry. They will all coexist, and I'm sure 5 years down the road, we will say, why did I not start first? So let's all come together and join this beautiful journey of selling lab grown diamond jewelry. I would like to thank the organizers of the show, GJS, the moderator of the show, Anil Bhai, and the panelists for giving me this opportunity to talk to you virtually. And ladies and gentlemen, above all, a big thank you to you for listening to me. Thank you. And let's look forward to enhancing all our businesses and keep growing as we have been. Thank you.
Thank you for your patience. Lab grown diamonds is not a new category. We've been talking about it for the last 10 years. Various forums, there used to be a debate whether natural diamonds are better or lab grown diamonds are better. We have moved several steps away. What I'm happy about this panel is I can guarantee you that all the previous sessions which were held were academic in nature. This won't be boring. This you will take away something when you go back. What is the future of diamonds? Lab-grown diamonds. The future is lab-grown diamonds. But at the same time, it is not either or questions. It is and lab-grown diamonds and natural diamonds. So having said that, and it has already been said by Chandu Bhai. So the reason I showed this video to all of you, that we have very limited time, and I'm sure the audience wants to ask a lot of questions. So I'll just share a few house rules. Dilip Bhai gets 11 minutes because he's a keynote speaker. He has a presentation, PowerPoint presentation. All of you have 4 minutes each in the first round. That doesn't mean after 4 minutes your job is done. So after 10 minutes, you'll get a warning so that you know that you have 1 more minute. It doesn't matter, you can extend a little bit. It's not clockwork precision, but it is the feelings. You know, it is rude to interrupt people, but everybody likes to hear music. Okay, so before I invite you on stage, business barons are like Maharajas. So we'll invite you on stage with a lot of fanfare. Let's have some music. Yes, play the music, please. Wait. Walk all the way from there. 1 minute.
Isn't that funny?
No, actually timing का थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम आ गया. मैं बोलने वाला था बा अदब बा मुलाइजा होशियार एटसेट्रा, लेकिन आप पहले आ गए, तो कोई बात नहीं. We look forward to your presentation, and then I have already shared the event flow. So please begin, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dilip Mehta. I live in Dubai and have lived in Antwerp for about 40 years, and I'm only 40. No. I actually was asked by my son whether I could actually talk about it, talk about lab-grown diamond. And I said, look, all my life I have done natural diamond. And do I believe in that? Of course, I encouraged you to get into the lab-grown diamond business. And I thought it was a good idea if we add an additional, call it a will, to our vehicle. And Vishal actually, of course, moved on. And that was beginning of journey. So I love this thing about the Dalai Lama, who said that when you talk, you learn nothing, because this is something you already know. So I'm very keen to understand from the rest of the speakers their views, and also would be great to have audience asking the question, because when the audience asks questions, a lot of things that I haven't thought of or we haven't thought of comes up. So I really encourage you to ask me more questions. My 10 minutes starts now. So, lab-grown diamond, as Anil Bhai said, and thank you very much for inviting me here, and GJG for inviting me here. So lab-grown diamond has been around for some time, but in the past, they were marketed with little or no disclosure. Some rogue operators passed on them as natural diamonds, damaging the industry reputationally as well as financially. The natural diamond business felt pinch and strongly lobbied against LGD, which is absolutely understandable. However, the natural diamond was brainwashed, or I would say bane-washed, and believed that no consumer would ever buy something that is grown in lab to represent their love and emotion. 2018 at Vegas show, De Beers announced the launch of Lightbox to retail lab-grown diamond. And much to surprise and shock of their fellow producers, producer peers, the natural diamond industry thought it was a masterstroke, that as they offered a linear price. And that actually brought down the price of lab-grown that time, both at retail and wholesale. The industry celebrated that. The natural diamond industry celebrated that, that lab-grown diamond prices, it's coming in my way, that fallen, and they thought it was race to bottom, and it will end soon. Again, in 2018, the natural diamond industry got another shock. FTC in USA ruled that LGD are real diamonds, giving them credibility. The real race started, and the rest is history. At this time, around that time, Vishal actually came out of his comfort zone. And this is where he said, that I'm going to take this on. I'm going to take that on. Vishal is my younger son. Deepu is elder one. So where are we? Fast forward 2021, diamond jewelry retail, and this is Bain's graph or last report, which actually shows an increase of 29% in jewelry, and I think we should look at that part, which is $84 billion of sales globally, and total market, jewelry market, is $320 million. So it actually witnessed a very solid growth, and lab-grown especially benefited even more because it got attention of various retailers globally. The current estimate of lab-grown loose diamonds sales is $1.6 billion at wholesale and about $4 billion at retail. And that does not include the industry stocking. So, and this $4 billion, and mainly in USA, accounts for approximately 8 to 9% of the jewelry sales in the USA. I actually been thinking about, where is going to be lab-grown diamond, where is it going to place, or what is it going to do to the industry? Much to surprise of the bears, I should say that, it actually exists in all the categories of the jewelry sold in USA, including bridal. They thought it would never happen because, it's not the way you express your love, because it's not real diamonds, they thought. But they forgot, that reality is, and you should know that, reality is, that these are diamonds as FTC ruled. So therefore, the game changed. So consumer adoption, in the USA has increased, and actually, as you can see, it is penetrating all the levels, going all the way. It has not entered into the luxury retailers as yet, but let's see where it goes. So overall, diamond jewelry or lab-grown diamond jewelry sales were still they are still in the mid-single digit, overall global one. But this is rapidly growing. Wholesale requirement will be much higher than people make it to be, as the pipeline starts pulling the inventory. The product made with LGD are designer's dream, and which will bring creative people, enhancing entire jewelry business. So where are we today, and what the future holds? We can plan for a couple of years, because one thing that I understand, that only certainty we have in our life is uncertainty. Things keep changing, and what we hadn't thought of happens because it's a very fast-moving world. And therefore, I think we need to actually be ready to tweak our plans and do not enter into something for 10 years and stick to it. Just keep yourself flexible. The industry needs to enhance the offers to the consumer and work collectively. And when I say this, and I'm talking about the natural and the lab-grown diamond business, the, the internal rivalry of natural and LGD will keep us inward looking and missing the larger picture of $320 billion jewelry business, which is going to grow also. It might reach to $400 billion in 5 years, who knows? So I just want to talk you through some logical point for lab grown. So we all know, and Chandubai just said, and he's stolen my script. So we all know that lab grown production, natural diamond production has reached to 120 million carats from 150 million carat average for multiple years that we had it. Argyle, which was producing 750 million carats, has produced 750 million carats during its life of 35 years. That's averaging 20 million carat. The world diamond production is reduced overall, including Argyle, by 30 million carats to 120 million carat. Interesting thing that has happened, which actually follows the hope and the will of what De Beers did, multiple years ago with creation of De Beers diamond, as in De Beers diamond at retail. They understood and they thought, that people will follow. And the fashion houses and the jewelry companies, multiple jewelry companies will follow besides the likes of Tiffany, then Cartier, and so on. Today, if you see, it is almost every fashion brand and the luxury brand is in the jewelry category as well as a hard luxury offer. So that actually enhances the overall picture, which whether they stay in the lab grown or natural, but it is helping overall category. And surprisingly, and finally, I would say that Natural Diamond Association has begun to do a better job of promoting natural diamonds. They were really sleepy and they wasted good 4 years, earlier on. And this way, I can see, there are a lot of enablers for the jewelry industry, which will continue to grow. And it will grow, my hope and wish is, at over 4-5%, which is good enough for us. And that is good for the jeweler and keeps everybody interested in the business. Diamond industry, and also one of the important things to note is, industry entered in 2022 with a very low inventory. This will mean higher scope for lab-grown diamond because natural diamond, you have limitation. Logically, 15 million carat shortfall of Argyle will be simply replaced like for like by lab-grown diamonds because the valuation is going to be almost similar and the other product does not exist. And if you don't offer that product, then retailers will lose those price point and ultimately those consumers. So it is important that retailers get that product in terms of jewelry, whether it is lab-grown or natural, it doesn't matter. The natural diamonds are not available, so I guess it will be fully replaced by lab-grown. Then you have another 10 million carat. And remember, that I make it simple, but there is no demand for carats. Nobody goes to store and says, I need 5 pounds of apple, or 1 carat of diamond. They go to jewelry store and they say, I have $1,000 in my pocket, and what can you give me? What has happened is, that there is, as the market expands and the jewelry sales grows, we will need more product at various price points. And as the natural diamonds, have a limitation both in number of carats and also, sky is not the limit, because everything is a limit. And the price elasticity is going to be a problem for the natural diamond people. So it will be important that, somebody looks at the 10 million carat, which is going to has been lost. Whether it is 10 million carats or 15 million carats is anybody's guess. Bottom line is, those 10 million carat will be replaced by 20 million carats in rough. And why? Because to maintain the price point at the retail level, and you want the consumer dollar. If a consumer is, in the store with $1,000, it will be a sin to let the person walk out with $500 jewelry and $500 spare chain to go and spend on holidays. We don't want that. We want that consumer dollar. So it is important that retailers, which they are effectively doing, and providing double carat, triple carat, in order to make the product look interesting. So therefore, it will be replaced by double carat. That takes me to 35 million carat rough diamond needed in the lab grown. And we are still at about 15 million carat at the best available to the industry. So there's a way to go. You love that, right? So, it's all very well, and it looks, pretty good picture, for lab grown. One thing, we must understand that there's never going to be a straight line. It's going to be, some upsets, some shocks. And so what is the downside? And I believe that the downside to the industry is going to be, time to time, too much of inventory coming in one go. And the lab-grown diamond business is not able to attract bankers to the industry because they are not financing this industry. And they think, this product should not be financed. And they've been brainwashed as well, so that's what I feel. But that said, it is important to understand that the business is going to be there, and they might lose the boat if they don't join in this excitement. One of the leading media person in USA, and I'm sure you would understand who I'm talking about, he said that retailers selling lab grown are overcharging to the consumer. The same person for years have been saying, that the bears is ripping you off, and you guys are doing nothing about it, and your profit is, you're not making the profit because of the bears, because one villain, and then we had two, Alrosa, thereafter, and multiple other people, and the tenders. So all that actually created an issue where you had to chase the supplies. So therefore, I am a bit surprised, and the question I ask him is, what is the right consumer price? Is it cost plus, or what is consumer willing to pay? My guess is, if we have people making decent margins, it will allow the promotion, A, and B, the healthy margin will attract a lot of new funds to the industry, and we will create value for our industry. So it looks to me, that it is our destiny. We need to take it in our hands, and we can't. And luckily, lab-grown diamond allows that. I just want to say that it's not dependent on the likes of the Bears or Alrosa. Lab-grown can drive its own destiny. So I would share, what I believe is going to be the scene, coming in future. The natural diamond will be complementary and not competing. And Chandubai just said that. Again, I think he stole my script. For first time in the industry, we can be consumer-centric rather than supplier-centric, or because it always depended what the bears will, give. It always depended, when tenders were there and you had to chase the goods. So you could never be sure with natural diamond. Lab grown, you can take your own future in your hand, and you can work backwards from the consumer and do and produce the product they like. And therefore, we are going to grow the jewelry business with lab grown much better than what we have done overall so far. At Lumex, and finally it's about us, Lumex, we, after a slowdown of COVID, Lumex is again spreading its wings. It is focusing on the distribution along with Evolution Diamond in New York. So that's the company which I'll establish. and just doing a pretty good jewelry business over there. And also we are currently in process of taking over another jewelry house. It's not taking over, it's actually basically working along with them in USA, which will be focusing on the independent jewelers because they do a better job with the lab-grown diamonds rather than just the chains. So they do a pretty good job with the larger diamonds. In Dubai and Surat, we are actually managing the global customers. We have tied up a supply of the small sizes, which is almost like exclusive, whole production to us. And also we are in the process of tying up another production in the larger sizes. Dubai and Surat sells rough diamonds as well, loose diamond, because we can't eat everything, and we rather not eat everything. So journey has just begun for us. We know that there are no roadmaps in this industry. It's all new. And therefore, as long as we know the direction, we're going to find our way and grow. And Chandubai said, that he likes to survive. I would say, no, we want to win. We just don't want to be survivor. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience. Thank you.
So it was a very, very informative keynote address and presentation. I'm sure a lot of things which were there in your mind, at least some of them have been answered. So as he said, it's no either or. That's what everybody is saying. Now, just my humble appeal to all of you, I'm going to invite you on stage. Environmental angle, I don't think you need to bring it because everybody knows the cheaper diamond, environmental friendly. There's a lot of repetition. So just a humble appeal. Now, I would like to invite all of you on stage one by one. Taimas Printer, Managing Director IGI, welcome. Anup Jhaveri, Director Real Illusion. Ritesh Shah, Alter CEO for India, and Deepu Mehta. Aura. So, Taimas, you have a very important role to play.
Is it?
Yes, because you are the devil's advocate. You are the devil's advocate. You are an independent gemological lab, authority on gemology. Most of the people don't know what they are talking about. They don't know what to read in a report. Because the fact of the matter is that gem labs have created a brand where others have not been able to. So your certificate matters more than the product. But having said that, just to structure the presentation in a proper manner, I would request you to talk about the technology, how it is evolving, and how you want to bring about consumer education. And so that's the B2C angle. And as far as B2B is concerned, how do you develop the market? So these are some of the thoughts, but you can add your own bit, and please begin.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank Dilip Bhai for making my task a little easier by giving all the statistics and figures. So, really speaking, from the knowledge point of view of the market, Dilip Bhai has covered everything. Thank you, Ashok Bhai, for this beautiful venue. I just love it. No, I have to thank you because, you have taken the initiative of bringing us all here, So thank you very much.
And thank for the audience. They all turned up in large numbers because to hear you.
I'm just coming.
Give them a big hand.
I'm just getting there. I'm just getting there.
Okay, okay.
So thank all of you. And you'll be thankful because, you will learn quite a few things from all of us. So let's begin. The thing is, since Dilip Bhai has already covered mostly everything, Anil Prabhakar claims to be a storyteller. So I have my 4 minutes. So I'm going to tell you a story, which is a fact. It's a true story, okay? A year before the pandemic, couple of my niece and nephews were getting married, and they obviously wanted an engagement ring. So they all wrote to me, and they're all abroad. One in London, one in US, one in Australia. They asked me, Temas uncle, what do I do? So I'm the authority, so I'm their relative. So I gave them the spiel of natural diamonds, and I gave them the spiel of lab-grown. Now, like Dilip Mehta said, that a customer walks into a jewelry shop and says, I have $1,000. Sorry, not $10,000. I have yes, I have $1,000. What can you offer? So it was the same scenario. They're all millennial kids. They know everything about. They do a lot of research, and each one had a budget of about $5,000-6,000, to begin with. They're starting off in life. So I gave them the spiel. All of them, without batting an eyelid, without asking me another question, opted for lab-growns. So what happens is, instead of getting a 1 carat, low clarity, low color diamond, they all got a 1.6 high clarity, high color. So, it's a diamond, it's a real diamond, so there's no issue about that. Okay, the story doesn't end here. About a year ago, or a little less than that, one of my nieces had got married to a doctor. In the pandemic, all the doctors are making a lot of money. You all know that, seriously. So Timothy gives me a call and says, Temas, and these Britishers don't call you uncle and auntie, thank God. Temas, I want to gift my wife versus a natural diamond. So you see the progression. When you have $50,000, you want to spend $5,000. When you have $500,000, you want to spend more, and you want to get the natural one. So it's just a price point. So what I'm trying to get at is that he has now progressed to natural. So it is lab-grown which has brought him into the fray, and now he's progressing to, because he has the money. It's a question of how much money you have and how much money you would like to spend. So now what has happened? It still doesn't end here. This guy has upgraded himself to 1.6. He cannot go to 1. So he has to go to 2. He has already upgraded himself to a VS. So he cannot go lower than VS. He has already upgraded himself to an F color. He cannot go less than F. So, the point I'm trying to drive is both lab-growns and natural are complementary to each other. So both are going to run parallelly in the marketplace. And we, like Mr. Mehta again said, that means we have to give the choice to the consumer. And every jeweler, he now has another avenue for his revenue. You understand? So is my 4 minutes okay or what? No, okay. No, because so this is the story that I would like to impart. That from a consumer, because I was told from a consumer point of view. Okay, now getting onto the technology part. Technology, you leave it to the laboratories like IGI. When you get ill, you don't go to the medical college and start learning about your disease. You go to a doctor, you go to a professional, and get your examination done. So same way, protect yourself by by getting your diamonds certified by IGI, and have peace of mind, See, initially about, say, 7-8 years ago, we used to screen all the jewelry pieces. I'm telling you, 95% of the jewelry pieces were contaminated with lab-growns. 95%, I repeat. There may be few diamonds, or there may be many diamonds in a jewelry piece, but that jewelry piece was contaminated, and I'm saying 95%. So that's a huge number. Today, it's not even 2%. And why? because we are the guardians to the industry. IGI is the guardian to the industry. And IGI from inception, as Mr. Mehta, again I'm putting, he was one of the only site holders who had the guts and the voice to say, I'm in lab growns. My stance was that I'm a laboratory. Any person who comes and gives me a stone to analyze, I'm duty bound to analyze it for him. So we have all the expertise. You don't need to know any expertise as such. Simply just entrust it with us for our capabilities, and we will do the needful for you. And I think my time is up. Right? Okay. So the last, now this is on a little lighter note. Quite a few of the manufacturers, quite a few of these players are Jains, Gujarati Jains, correct? So you know what? I call the lab-grown diamond a giant diamond because it's grown above the ground, man.
Fantastic.
Got it? Okay, thank you very much.
Temas, be there. I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
See, today, markets in US have really taken off. Markets in the US have really taken off. But here, we are here, basically, we can take a global perspective, but essentially we want to talk about India. So when I'm talking to people, like Ritesh or Pooja, how many retailers do you have? 20 retailer, iska 20 retailer, 40 ho gaya. We have 500,000 jewelers in India. So how IGI can help develop the market? That is one point. And second point is, it's not a question, but you very rightly said that you must have watched the reality show Shark Tank India. There is a word called doglapan. So that doglapan starts from De Beers. मैं लाइट बॉक्स भी बेचूंगा, रियल डायमंड्स भी बेचूंगा, लेकिन साइट होल्डर नहीं बेचेगा. So that's a very funny thing. So, but at least I'm glad that all of these gentlemen are in the natural diamonds business also, and they are sitting here and saying that, okay, yes, we will do like. So please answer my question about market development.
I forgot what your question was. No. No, see, the thing is, US is a very progressive market.
No, we talk about India, no?
Yeah, no, just 1 minute. I mean, I'm getting to that. Okay. US is a very progressive market. So obviously, the initial take is on the US. Okay, but I'll tell you one thing. In the show, I have met 3 jewelers. Okay, and they were wearing nice diamond rings, and one was wearing a bracelet and all that. I said, oh, nice design here. All the 3 guys turn around and say it is lab grown. Their people are shy about saying that it is lab grown, but I'm telling you, he personally knows that there is actually absolutely no difference between a natural diamond and a lab-grown diamond, save that one is man-made, the other is earth-mined, But having said that, he himself, after knowing, so it is knowledge. So the moment the consumer really knows about the 2 aspects, then what happens is, it is his decision. A woman, when she wants to go and buy a diamond from her own hard-earned money, you had the women's empowerment a little earlier, she will probably go in for a lab-grown if she understands both the diamonds properly. Okay, but God forbid, if her husband thinks of giving her a synthetic lab-grown diamond, he's had it.
Doglapan.
Okay?
Okay, thank you. Anubhai, હવે તમારો નંબર છે. કેમ છો? So basically, we have structured the talk in such a fashion that there should be minimum overlap. So I will ask you a very, very pointed question. See, you have been, as a grower, you are the only brave man sitting in here. I have spoken to so many growers, they don't want to answer questions. And believe me, I have done so much of legwork that to get anything out of the growers is a tough job. There is so much of opacity. not much information is coming. भाई कौन सा मशीन यूज करते हो, नहीं सीक्रेट है, कितने मशीन है सीक्रेट है, मशीन का कितना खर्चा है सीक्रेट है, तो सीक्रेट है तो क्या है. सो सिंस यू हैव बीन very very transparent and you've given me a lot of information which I used in print for my article, so I would like I would like you to specifically discuss about the growing process, what are the challenges and why there is a secrecy around the growing process, number one. Number two, you recently are inducted on IGDA's leadership committee. So tell us about that, because in India also we have two associations, but there is no information coming forward. So at a trade level we need to be organized, and your thoughts on it, because you are on the board of so many trade associations. So Anup bhai.
Anyway, good afternoon, friends. I'm thankful to the organizers for giving me an opportunity to be with all of you to say about lab-grown diamond industry. Looking at the trade data of mined diamonds, only 4% of the world population buy diamonds in a year. Why is it so? Maybe it is not affordable to all. And over and above that, we all know the environmental issues and funding to the civil wars and now the war diamonds. And to eliminate all this, we are cultivating a better choice, which is lab-grown diamonds. Lab-grown diamond is highly innovative product, essentially creating a new category within diamonds. It replicates mined diamonds both chemically and optically. Our team is working day in and out to create the best products. The growing process is highly innovative, which is able to grow rough diamonds in a controlled environment using the carbon vapor deposition method. Our existing process is yielding good results, but we analyze our growing process every day and make changes continuously. Constant tweaks and monitoring of the process helps us improve our product quality. These diamonds are produced in a state-of-the-art laboratories with the use of latest technologies, eliminating all disruption to the universe. At the same time, these diamonds that come without a painful backstory. Man-made diamonds are a chance for us to delight in the joy and splendor of diamonds without worrying that our happiness has come at the expenses of nature or an innocent life. They are diamonds of tomorrow. We are offering them to you today in the hopes of encouraging you to make sustainability a present reality. Now let's see the industry figures of lab-grown diamonds. Polish exports of lab-grown diamonds, India exported in the year 2019-2020 $224 million of Polish goods, and now in 2020 and 2021, from April to February, it was 550 million. Same period, 21-22, India exported 1.1 billion. Looking at the figures, it's very clear that this industry is growing rapidly. The US is the largest market, and other countries like Canada, Australia, UK, Spain, Italy, and many more countries have started using it. I believe that India is going to be the second largest market after United States, as the name of the game is affordability. We Indians are the largest grower of CVD lab-grown diamonds in the world. So, no dependency on import of rough diamonds from miners. We, the growers of India, are on the path to contribute to our Prime Minister's dream of becoming Atmanirbhar Bharat. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So we have had a overall perspective, global perspective from Dilip Bhai, from technology and consumer perspective. We had upstream also. Now we come to the midstream, which is the distribution. So I think Alter in the US, in India, they have done a phenomenal job.
Thank you so much.
And they are into distribution. And so we would like to know what are the opportunities and what kind of resistance you are feeling from the retailers and all those people from the audience who are sitting. What will you say to them that will give them confidence to start retailing this category?
Surely, I would like to be there.
Yes, sure.
No. So, firstly, I would like to thank Anil Bhai and the GJS and everybody here to invite me on this panel. Reminds me of a lot of panels here that we've been in India or US or Australia. And I'm very delightful to see good, respected industry leaders to be here and talk about the opportunities of lab grown. At the same time, I would also put a little history to what Alter is, how Alter came up. I know everybody here must be knowing that Alter was the one to bring in this category to this platform. We not only have been here for 6 years, we've been here for 16 years. Back in 2006 is when we actually started to promote lab grown in JCK Las Vegas. 10 years, it was taken as a joke, but from 2016, it actually went on more serious. I remember in 2018 February when BBC actually featured lab grown, and my brother was there to talk about it, and that was followed up by FTC in July 2018 when, like how Dilip Bhai mentioned, they actually called this a real diamond. And that actually was a big game changer for the industry. We had early adopters. I know a lot of people laughed that time that this is not going to work, but we had early adopters, and what did they really do? They actually capitalized on this product versus where other retailers were struggling for margins. These retailers were actually doubling the margins. So when you look at that scenario, we were just facilitating them to go towards this higher margins. What did actually Alter do? The key points. Education, like Mr. Temas mentioned, the key criteria that on every panel I have just been mentioning, education down to the wholesaler, education down to the consumer. If your consumer knows that there is no difference between both the diamonds, they will not think twice. Yes, you got to offer them a choice, rightly mentioned. At the end of the day, you want at the same price, you want double the size, or you want to have a bigger diamond in the same price. So that would be one of the key criteria that I would say. What did Alter do? Education. While the industry was still shying away from talking about it, Alter actually went and trained 1,700 salespeople.
In India?
No, globally.
Please talk about India because there are
no. So I'm actually sharing our experience, what we did globally, because that is what we need to repeat in India now, where we need to, like you just rightly mentioned, that Pooja says she has 20 retailers. I would say probably I sell to 20, 30. But is everybody ready to put up a board and sell it to their consumers. Like he just mentioned that, there were people wearing lab grown and they might be very affluent people, but they are not right over there open to say that. We need to get this in everybody's mind that I'm wearing a diamond and it's the same. So education will be the key criteria for this category to go to the next level. If I would put some figures, like Anubhai mentioned, 80% of CVD, the type 2A, is today being controlled by India. And what is India selling? 85% of the sales is happening from USA, 15% globally. But India has a chance. Like Anubhai mentioned, India has now not to depend on outside miners or rough to make this happen. So, this is where there is an opportunity. The next thing that I would take up is our industry by nature prefers not to change. Change is what they have not been, ready for. But I would say one of the great things that has been done by Diva, bringing up this here and bringing that platform up here, is showing that yes, we're ready for change. And that is a great step into this. I'm also a part of the Lab Grown Council in Bombay, and we always discuss that. And I would say we were the first to actually put up even a lab grown show right across IIJS. And when we saw the crowd coming in, we got more confidence. That actually brought a lot more confidence for retailers to actually start smelling of what is going on. During our journey, over the last 6 years, the key learnings have been consumers want to be educated. So consumer education is absolutely the key part. One of the other things is what I have learned, that consumers or a retailer would always ask for a buyback. This is the key nature. We have actually put this in their minds. Why? Because it was well suited for the industry. We've been in this business for 90 years. But, anyways, to cut it short, diamond is not an investment. Diamond is something that, it's how they sell it in the US, an experiential product. So it's not something to go on an exchange or a commodity to sell. So my only thing would be that education would be a key part to this. I have a lot to say, but I think the bell rang, so
Okay.
I would,
So
try to
Ritesh,
write it.
fair enough.
Sure.
Since you are there, you be there.
I'll be here.
I'll ask you a granular question.
Sure.
You need to be granular,
Okay.
Overall, everybody has said the same thing.
Absolutely.
So, in India,
Yeah.
the other day when we were talking to each other, you said
Yeah.
you are facing problems from distributors. They're trying to arm twist you. And even the retailers are not really keeping the goods where they should be in the counter.
Yes.
So, as an independent professional, I'm not an expert, but I see a huge distribution opportunity. See,
Absolutely.
if you benchmark on FMCG companies like Hindustan Lever or Nestle,
Right.
so those distributors, they know how to work hard. They have the systems and procedure. They also have money. And Titan watches did a fantastic job. Why Titan watches? You see emerald jewelry.
Yes.
See, why I'm specifically mentioning this? Because you can't really sell natural diamonds by distribution mode. But you have a tremendous advantage of selling lab-grown diamonds because you can position it as a consumer product. So I don't know whether you have tried that, but I think that's a fantastic opportunity. And what are your views? Then we move on to Deepu.
So my views here, in fact, that was the next thing that I was going to talk about of what we did in the US. And that's exactly what the branding part of it is, what you were talking. That why a brand? Today's consumer wants to brag about something that they buy, They want to have an identity with it. And that's exactly what you're saying is like a Hindustan Lever or any of those companies. They're working hard to create that brand with any piece of commodity.
So is Ultra creating a brand in India?
Well, not yet. With the COVID, we had to put a break to it, but you'll see something soon. But of course, like you saw Chandubai Seroya mention, we started from the Middle East, and that's where we were working on, and it will all happen soon here also.
Great. Please,
Great.
please
Thank you
have
so much.
So Deepu, I think Deepu is okay, no? First. So I have all praises for you. You are the only guy who has put the money where your mouth is. You not only come upfront and say that, okay, I am selling diamond jewelry, lab-grown diamond jewelry. You created boutiques. You put your own money, and the jewelry is fantastic. I don't know much about the product, but there's no need to go into the details of the technicalities. It's a lovely product, but at the same time, others are also doing a very great job. I had been to Coimbatore and I've been to Chennai, and especially I was very impressed with the colored diamonds. I saw some beautiful greens and reds and yellows. I didn't see any blues, but fantastic. So while you are creating the market, and I think India conceptually has a better understanding than the US, because in the US, it's a hodgepodge thing because everybody is running after money, and in the short term, things are not the way it should be. I think India is the only country where, correct me if I'm wrong, it's the only country where you have exclusive lab-grown diamond boutiques, not just Diva by Aura, but Wonder Diamonds. And while I had invited Titan representatives, they said it is too premature for them to share openly. But I understand from internal sources that they have already tried lab-grown diamonds, Mia. They did not make a song and dance about it, but they have also tried. So Indian companies are going to have an advantage. And there is a huge opportunity for you to create shop-in-shops, appoint franchisees. So what are your plans?
Hi everyone, thank you GJS for having me here. So plans for Diva, they're all work in progress. It's it's an IVF baby. We call it an IVF baby. But it is a baby still, and it's 3 months old. But I think it's going to grow in and where the consumer wants it to grow. I mean, that's what we are seeing. We're testing out which price points, which areas of product that it's working in, and making sure that, wherever it's not working, we trim it or whatever. But the plans for Diva are pretty robust, and part of our total Aura's expansion plans. I don't have to now depend on the miners' whims and fancies on pricing. I can set my own pricing. I can invite designers and collaborations with many different aspects of the fashion industry, as well as the designers of jewelry, who can now experiment, and that experiment is not going to cost them burn a hole in their pocket. It's going to be limited, and they can experiment, and now they can do something, and they can show their creativity. So Diva has many, it's growing, it's learning itself. It's, the AI engine at Diva is pretty robust, and therefore I invite, and I have tremendous optimism on this industry, and on Diva, and on the lab-grown industry at large. We have the government who is willing to support us because it's grown in India. It is the talent pool that we have with the natural diamond industry is the same, right? We could use that same talent and experiment and grow. Education, as Ritesh said, is very important. One part of Diva's mission is to educate the consumer that this is diamond, and you are now able to participate. Where before it was too expensive for you to participate, now you are able to participate and you can be more creative. So, I mean, I think the sky is the future. I mean, and we're all looking forward for that.
So please answer my question. Are you looking at franchises? Are you looking at...
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
please share.
No, we're looking at franchisees. Anyone.
Shop in shops?
Shop in shops, franchisees, boutiques for larger lab created, and real showrooms for even the very high end. So we are looking at everything, but we're starting off small, and we're going to grow fast.
See, I'm helping you because there could be several people who would like to be your franchise.
And we welcome every opportunity for that.
Okay. So now going granular, see, with my limited understanding of the market, everybody is running after bigger sizes. Whereas, if you see, there is a tremendous opportunity in the small sizes like Star Mele and all. So, and if you see in India, whether it is natural diamond or the lab grown diamonds, we still have first time buyers, lot of them. So why the industry is focusing only on, let's say, 30 cents and above, 1 carat and above, and why are you not focusing on the bottom of the pyramid, so to say? I understand that it is difficult to grow small diamonds and all that, but still would like to have your views. And secondly, when we spoke about the shop in shops, I believe in the US, Lightboxes or some other brands put together are 100 shop in shops. So what is the feedback from there, and whether you can learn something from the US and adopt the policy?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our consumer research showed that the first time buyer who migrated from gold to diamond, always thought of diamonds as so expensive that they could never afford it. Now, with this small diamonds coming from the HPHT area or the large coming from the CVD area, both have their niche and both have their place in the market. But I do think that India is going to grow very, very fast in the HPHT area because the first time buyer taking that 1 lakh rupee that he wanted to spend at most for a gold piece of jewelry is now looking at diamond as a very, very viable alternative.
So as I understand, India doesn't have a single growing facility that manufactures HPHT. It's all imported. So people here would like to know whether HPHT diamond, likewise, same apple to apple comparison, is an HPHT diamond cheaper than a CVD diamond? That's one part. Okay, that's one part. That's a question. But I also have a comment. And my comment or my observation doesn't matter. But there are a lot of people who also feel the same thing. That this IVF comparison is something that people are put off. See, when does a woman have a test tube baby? When the normal delivery is not possible. So why? Somebody says test tube baby, everybody says test tube diamond. So these are the two questions I want you or anybody else to address.
That's not my expertise, but I'll leave it to the growers.
Test tube you can answer.
Yes.
Test tube is, it's not a rocket science. I mean,
but do you think that it is a good marketing strategy to call test tube diamond? It doesn't sound right. And there are many people who believe.
It's just an analogy. I mean, the real marketing experts will really finesse this into a proper marketing strategy. But this is just an analogy to explain the first time buyer or the first time person who really doesn't understand the difference.
Who invented this? I don't know. Somebody used it for the first time. And everybody is following the same line.
I am not
Dilip
sure.
bhai, you are the baron. You let us know. Do you think it is right to call...
I stopped making babies, 50 years ago.
That's a good one. But Dilip bhai, it is a triumph of nature. Lab-grown diamond is a triumph of nature. Let's celebrate. Not call it a test tube baby.
Yeah.
Test tube baby is also...
I have no opinion on that,
Okay.
but a question that you asked to Deepu on whether HPHT is cheaper than CVD diamonds. There is no direct comparison, and CVD cannot produce smaller sizes. The production
cannot
cost
or it's expensive?
cannot produce because it's too expensive for them to do it. And HPHT, which is predominantly Chinese, they're doing a much better job. And because historically they were growing, dressers, for the drilling industry, and for the oil industry. So they had billions of carats of production and a huge fitted capacity of say 30,000 machines, press, huge press. When you walk in, I'm sure you have seen the picture. So these are guys, who have written off, all the investments over years. And these are the people who are actually producing the smaller diamonds. Though it is, their preference is to grow the larger sizes, one had to explain them, and this is exactly what we did, that the jewelry offer is not complete without the smaller diamonds. Now, whether it is America, whether it is India using small diamond on its own, or as an accent to the larger sizes, it's both are happening. And so therefore, what we did was, to tie up that production completely, of the smaller sizes. I say that completely, but before 20 other growers, might start in China and start competing us. But, as of now, this is exactly what Vishal said we should do that. And we closed that arrangement. Thank you.
So again, I think Themas will love it. While Aura is doing a very good job, it is all the communication is product centric. They are not telling a story yet. So the thing is, it's again my observation. I may be right, I may be wrong. Let's debate it out. The lab-grown diamonds fraternity, barring a few, they are all still doing natural diamonds or were doing natural diamonds. Now they saw a big opportunity in marginal cost. Same skills are required, same machinery is required. So they made a lot of money. But if you want to really grow, there should be a category differentiation, which is not happening. Cheaper diamond. I can afford a costlier diamond, so why I will go for a cheaper diamond? So what I'm trying to say that why this is happening? Because as an industry, we have been depending on category promotion by DBers. WGC karega, PGI karega. Let's piggyback on that. So you will find there are hardly any diamond brands. So now that you don't have to depend on the miners, you have, and I'm sure you will go vertically integrate tomorrow. You will buy a growing facility. So there is a tremendous opportunity. So as a larger picture, I think, are we too myopic? Dilip bhai, again, you are the boss. Aap batao.
Just I thought you were going to ask him. I wasn't listening to what you wanted. Anyway.
So there is no story, okay.
Yeah.
So Themas will talk about the story part, but the other part you address those parts.
Look, let's understand, Rome was not built in one day.
Sir, 10 साल से बात कर रहे हो LGD का, क्या बात कर रहे हो?
No, the LGD, may have happened, has been happening for, as I said earlier, has been happening for more than 10 years.
Exactly.
And yes, it is a fact. But it got the attention of multiple people and at a various level. So now you have the critical mass. Until you don't have retail and you don't test out and understand it, it'll be too early, for anybody to do, differently. Having said that, nobody is sleeping. Everybody is watching out because everybody is in
that I agree fully
the business, and they will find their way. There is not going to be one simple way. Can we actually promote the category as you said earlier? Answer is no, it won't happen because you have multiple interests, and people are actually talking about what they are doing better than the rest. So you still have an inward-looking community in the lab-grown diamond business. It will take some time. You actually must compare this situation to 60s when the Beers had to put all the mines together, which they did. All the production was going to them. And we don't have the Beers, so therefore there's no category building. But people are smart enough and they are making decent margin. They'll be able to invest money in the promotion and the research, etc., as we go forward. We still haven't touched the surface.
Sir, this is all of here are vegetarians, but it's a chicken and egg problem. So if category promotion is not happening, category creation is not happening, why not create individual brands? That's the big opportunity. And we are not doing it simply because we are not used to. We are taking the easier part. Okay, now I will not give any more lecture. But story part के बारे में तहमास का क्या ख्याल है जरा बताओ. Yes, please.
I'll answer your question on branding. De Beers actually wanted everybody to create brand. Fast forward, go back 25 years ago.
Flashback, yeah.
25 years ago, and it was supplier of choice. Everybody went into branding. Branding is a different business, okay? And it needs a lot of power, money, and at the same time, ability to actually sell or understand the market. We are still at a nascent level for the industry. As we move forward, it's going to come because it's need, and automatically your brand is be something that will sell, is not just the lab-grown diamond. Lab-grown diamond is simply an ingredient. But what is important is, your touch and feel and the branding proposition will actually take this industry forward.
Okay, fine. Fair enough.
What do you want me to answer? Please tell me.
आपने 2 स्टोरी बोला तो ये स्टोरी के बारे में इनको कुछ समझाओ ना.
No, I'll tell you, education is the key. Like even Ritesh was saying, the millennial kids.
Yeah. After that, we are coming. Because I had collected a lot of questions from the audience.
He's feeling
so
left
we'll
out,
definitely throw it open to the audience. So
Anil,
I think
he's feeling left out. So you want to ask him question first?
No. You finish, fine. Then we'll ask questions.
See, the thing is, education, like I said, is the key. And promotions is another aspect. We have been having our D shows, something what we call the diamond show, the D show, IGI D show, since last 10 years, I think. And what we do is, it's a networking situation where we invite the top manufacturers, like say 30, 40 of them, in a 5-star environment, and we invite the jewelers, the heads, and they interact over a period of 3 days, over lunch, dinner, breakfast, whatever. And then there is networking. There is no real selling. And we slot every jeweler for half an hour or 20 minutes with each manufacturer. So what happens is in a jewelry show like this, I mean, you're just touching hands and saying hi, bye, whatever. Okay, there, the owner jeweler and the owner manufacturer are sitting together and having a chat. There is no intermediary, So that way, the business which happens, the transactions which happens, have a longer reach. I mean, you don't do one single transaction. You have done now a transaction which can take place over years. Last D show, we included a lab-grown manufacturer in the show, and the response was tremendous. All the jewelers who had come to buy natural diamond jewelry, okay, they also got exposed to the lab-growns. We also have a lot of information on lab-growns, and we could see that while everyone was interested, see, nobody wants to leave a revenue stream aside. Nobody. Any businessman would like to have an additional revenue stream. So they were all interested, but all were saying, who's going to bell the cat first? You understand? I did, but there are others who we need to bell the cat also.
So we'll take some questions from the audience, but I feel that let's begin with one opinion. So I think Prasad, are you around, Prasad? So Prasad, he has been working very hard on the lab-grown diamond market. I give you 2 minutes to share your opinion with us. Yes, please. Hello.
First of all, thank you very much. Actually, the panel was really wonderful, and it's a lot of insights in the lab-grown industry. I have been doing a lot of research. I have literally gone through all the reports, whether it's Bain & Company or it's McKinsey or Wise Guy or Frost & Sullivan, name it, and I have actually gone through. And And I'm totally convinced that this is going to be the future. That's point number one.
This is the future, right?
Absolutely. And there are reasons for it. It's not that I'm here to propagate lab-grown or natural. That's not the idea. The idea
because
is
tomorrow you have a panel on real diamonds also.
Yes, absolutely. Now, the fact of the matter is that the mines are getting exhausted, right? That's the fact, right? And as Dilip Bhai mentioned in that Bain and Company report, today the total production is hardly 116 million carats, and the demand is actually close to 140 million carats. So there is already a gap, and by 2030, there is going to be a huge gap of 159 million carats. And people do ask me that, in terms of for the lab grown, it's going to reduce. The prices are going to come down, and if I have invested today, maybe a lakh of rupees is going to come down to maybe 80,000 or 50,000 rupees. That's not really the truth. And so far it was happening because the supply was much more than the demand for lab grown. Now the scenario is different. The way in the last 4 or 5 years, markets have shifted and changed. The lab-grown diamond requirement or the demand has grown tremendously, but the supply hasn't been able to match that. To give you a little statistics, one machine actually produces about 3,000 carats of rough diamonds. Okay? Today there are about 7 million carats being produced, which is hardly about 2,500 machines across the world. There are a number of figures floating around in the market, but the fact of the matter is hardly 2,500 machines. When there is going to be a gap of 159 million carats in the next 8 years, you'll need at least 53,000 machines. Again, the fact of the matter is there are only 4 or 5 manufacturers in the world of these machines. Of course, they are being copied and being done a whole lot of things. But still, it's not going to match the demand. So the prices, I think, have already bottomed out. It's not going to come down any further. In fact, and also the fact that the pricing is still linked to the wrap-up pricing. So since that wrap prices are growing up, even the lab-grown prices are going up at the moment. So all said and done, I think the prices have bottomed up because that's one of the key issues in the domestic market I have seen. That's the only, when I go to a retailer or talk to him, वो कहता है आज मैंने 100 रुपए में आपसे लिया और कल को अगर 80 रुपए हो गया तो मेरा तो मार्जिन निकल गया. And that's a very valid question from a retailer's perspective. But that's where I want to give you a reassurance that that's not the reality. It's not going to happen anymore. And just to add to what Temas had mentioned, that a woman will buy lab grown on her own, but the husband, if he gives, may not be accepted. But I being a marketing, I being a marketing guy, it's all about positioning. See, today I'll tell you why. Why? No, I'll tell you. I'll justify it because I've been with De Beers, so I know how it was done then. The category of mine diamonds is all about ultimate symbol of love. Okay, so obviously that's where the big question mark comes in. You actually market lab-grown diamonds as the ultimate symbol of success, and she'll love it because everyone wants to be acknowledged as a successful person. So it's all about positioning. Thanks.
He will be in no position.
So can we have a question? We had an opinion. Yeah, please. Give him a mic, please.
The question is addressed to Dilip Bhai because probably he's the only person in the panel, and with no disrespect meant to the others, who's seen those 50 years in the market where the concern that is now in the minds of most people, something to add to what Prasad said, why will the lab-grown diamonds not go the way of CZ or the cultured pearls or the glass-filled rubies? Because all of them started out well, they were considered the replacements, they were considered the ones that will create a new space in the industry, and we know what's happened to all of them. And Dilip Bhai, probably you're the only one who's seen all of that in the world. So tomorrow a big corporate comes in with 30,000 machines. Why will the prices not go the way it happened with CZ or the other two examples I mentioned? Thank you.
It's a great question. And let me just answer the first thing which you asked last. I want to answer that first. If a major corporation comes in, they'll be in to make money, right? So if they are investing into 30,000 machines, which is required, they'll not be doing it for nothing. And if you have seen what is happening in the Western world, and to a grower, my son was talking about, to a local grower, there are a lot of VCs interested in this business and they are investing money in this area. So they understand, that this is a growth area. I mean, and these people are no kids. They are very, fantastic veterans. Moving to, the other question that you raised, and rather, is it going to be another fracture-filled ruby, or it is man-made ruby, restructured one, emeralds, and so on? The answer is, FTC made the difference. It said that these are diamonds. So you're not selling a simulant, or any product which is mimicking diamonds, you are selling diamonds. So question is, that will this go down? Answer is perhaps in next 10 years or 15 years. But 10 years in a life, in a fast-moving world is a lot of time. And we can't miss the boat. The jewelry industry will do disservice if they allow the jewelry customer to spend money on holidays or something else. We need to be making that money or taking that consumer dollar. And that should be the focus of the jewelry business. I hope I have answered your question.
To a great extent, yes, but why will it not go the way the others did?
Yeah, so...
Because glass-filled ruby is still sold as ruby.
Yeah.
Okay, we can discuss offline. In the meantime, Shashikant Bhai has a question.
No, Shashikant Bhai. Yeah, we know.
पैनलिस्ट के लिए भी एक सजेशन है, जो भी दिलीप भाई के साथ बातचीत हुई, वर्ल्ड मार्केटिंग, प्रिंटर से बात हुई, सर्टिफिकेशन अथॉरिटी, ग्रोअर से बात हुई कि ग्रोइंग क्या है, और मार्केटिंग के लिए बात हुई विदेश से. सबसे बड़ा सीक्रेट एक ही पॉइंट है, जब तक बायबैक नहीं होगा मार्केट नहीं बढ़ेगी.
ओके, दैट्स योर ओपिनियन.
ओपिनियन. सेकंड थिंग, यहाँ जो भी बैठे हैं इसमें एक ही है कि जब तक आप बायबैक के साथ कस्टमर को अट्रैक्ट नहीं करेंगे, और हम बनिया है जिसमें मुनाफा है वही बेचो, धंधा अपने आप बढ़ेगा.
Okay. Before, yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, I will get your turn, but 1 minute. You can let me finish. So before I forget, because I am an old man, So one thing which has always intrigued me. Fine, you are saving cost and you are making money because of your diamond experience. But when you come into the lab-grown diamond, why piggyback on Rappaport? I think, is it laziness or you run out of ideas? This is a very hard-hitting question which has been posed by many people in various forums. So I think you need not answer this at this juncture, but this is something which is not letting the category develop. That is my opinion. But if you want to ask the question, whether it is laziness or...
All I have one thing to say is lab grown would need to create its own identity. And like you said, not piggyback on the Rappaport. If you look at other industries, so when somebody goes in a store and buys a $5,000 purse or a bag, they do not look at a buyback value. So this is exactly where I even mentioned earlier that branding would be the key. Creating an identity for it would be a key. And we have brought this in the minds of a consumer that over time, this is like an investment bond that it will keep going up. Diamond is not an investment.
Ritesh, I agree with you, but I disagree with you.
Okay.
Rappaport or direct brands का क्या ताल्लुक ही नहीं है कोई.
No, but that's
why create a different system of pricing? Why you piggyback on?
It's
इतना 80 bag, 90 bag, दिमाग का दही हो जाता है.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that.
Dilip bhai has to say something on
I
it.
probably have a different answer.
Yeah, sure.
So, what actually happened, and why grading report and why comparison with Rappaport? So, grading report was required in order for people to understand what are they buying and what can they compare. So therefore, when you have, say, HVS1, your automatically rings bell that, next door I had seen a natural diamond for $10,000 at retail, and this is for $5,000 or $3,000. So that's something that you can now understand the pricing. It is nothing to do with Rappaport at retail, okay? Because retailers are not showing the Rappaport list here, whereas in the other things they do show the list and say, see, I'm charging you that price. So it is nice to start at this level. Moving forward, there will be some sort of standardization, and it might come. So typically in the mass retailer or the chains, they do DEF programs, and you can give an F is still the same price, and if you give D is still the same price. It's already a combination that it's a work in progress. Whether we need Rappaport or not, it's nice to understand that what you are paying for if you are a retailer, and to understand, are you being ripped off?
So you mean to say at B2B level it is still accepted?
Yeah, that's fine.
Fine, fair enough. Karishma, you wanted to say something?
Yes, and I'm going to continue to sit, sorry, because I'm freezing.
That's fine.
But I just wanted to...
Give her a mic, please. Somebody give her a mic.
If I'm audible, I'm fine. Okay. I just wanted to circle back on the test tube baby conversation. I'm a mother, so I can resonate to babies and diamonds. I think the audience that we are trying to talk to today, we're talking about the younger generation, right? He had a different perspective, and with all due respect, I'm a millennial, and I can understand when it comes to buying lab-grown diamonds. I still don't resonate to it, but I'm heading there. With the more marketing that we are getting there, the more education I have, the more knowledge I get on lab-grown diamonds, the closer I get towards lab-grown diamonds. So just coming back to the test tube again, I beg to differ. I don't think today women only choose test tube babies because of the inability to have children. I think today there are various other reasons, right? And I think that when it comes to test tube babies and lab-grown diamonds, they are still synonymous in a large way, because it's again the audience that you're trying to target. It's the younger generation we are talking about, the Gen X that we are talking about, that can resonate to test tube babies and that can resonate to lab-grown diamonds, because again, like he rightly said, Ritesh rightly said, when we purchase a phone or we purchase an LV bag, we don't really walk out of the store and say, what is the buyback going to be? So it's really, I think, a thought process, and coming back to what everybody at the panel said as well, it's eventually a customer's choice. And I think the more education we empower, the more knowledge we create, the more we're going to pull that traffic towards us. That's my thought process.
You have in a democracy, everybody can voice your opinion, so with due respect.
Absolutely, that's mine.
No, basically, test tube baby.
It's a wrong concept, yeah. I mean, it's just...
So at least somebody agrees.
Nobody said that it's a test tube diamond, but people said that if the two babies are crawling, and if one is a test tube baby and one is from mother's womb, would you give different love? That was the criteria. This is not, nobody said that it's a test tube diamond. So that it has to be taken that way.
Or an adapted baby, yeah. Same difference.
Yeah, please. The mic. I'll give you a mic.
Thank you all the speakers. I'm a retailer from Kanpur, and I've been selling this CVD from last 4 years, and I've seen the prices coming down, and I just wanted to check and see, keep some assurance from the growers, when and how and where the prices will bottom out. This was the issue raised by Mr. Kapre also, and my fellow retailer also. So where you think the prices will bottom out? Because I have seen from last 4 years, the prices have been coming down. My first question. The second is, as very rightly Mr. Tehma said, for me to explore the source was very difficult 4 years back. I really have to search and have to discuss the issues with a lot of my fellow suppliers as to who is the actual grower and where we can get the right price. So what I met one of the growers at your D show also, and even today I am working with around 7-8 growers. So which was very difficult for me 4 years back to find out who the growers are. So these are two issues which I would like the answer. Thank you.
See, the thing is, like Prasad said earlier, that the prices seem to have bottomed out, and I tend to agree with him. Initially, when the thing is in short supply, there's always a demand for it, and the prices will be up. And then when the demand is catered to, then obviously it's a supply and demand question. Currently, I feel that the prices have generally bottomed out. That's what my take on it. It may be true, maybe not. I really don't know. The other aspect is again falling back on the knowledge part. Just as the consumer wants knowledge about the lab-growns versus natural, the retailer wants to know where he can source it from and stuff like that. So, there will be websites and there will be marketing lists, Hopefully, we're trying to organize a list where all the manufacturers can list their diamonds. And Karishma is here. Yeah.
So guys, we are running out of time.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you very much. And now felicitation is going to happen. So Rajesh Rokde, Director GJC, please. इनको felicitate करना है हमको.
Thank you so much, all the panelists and speakers. This session has been truly energetic, I must feel. Everybody has a lot of questions, but unfortunately, we are running out of time. So thank you so much, Rajesh ji, for joining us on stage. And may I please invite you to present a token of appreciation to, firstly, our keynote speaker, Dilip Mehta ji, co-founder of Lumix Group.
You can please stand. Yeah. We will felicitate you. Rajesh ji will felicitate you.
Can we have a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, please? Next up, Anup Zaveri ji, Director, Real Illusion. Deepu Mehta ji, MD and CEO, Aura Fine Jewelry. Ritesh Shah ji, CEO, Alta India. And Tehmas Printer ji, President and MD, IGI.
तो आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे तो प्लीज जाइए और करिए.
परिवर्तन संसार का नियम है और शायद सीवीडी क्या है अभी पूरे पैनलिस्ट ने आपको समझा दिया है और क्या आगे भविष्य है और जो भविष्य को देख के प्लानिंग करता है तो 100% कामयाबी उसी को मिलती है, ये हमारा इतिहास बताता है. तो आज के इस ज़माने को अपनाना है, आगे बढ़ना है. जो आपने आज यहाँ नॉलेज लिया 100% मुझे लगता है आपके यह निजी जीवन में बहुत ज़्यादा आपको फ़ायदा देगा. मैं जीजेसी के ओर से जीजे शो में जो आप यहाँ आए हैं सारे पैनलिस्ट का तहे दिल से धन्यवाद मानता हूँ. आपने जो समय दिया और हमारे सभी जो विजिटर्स, हमारे जितने भी एग्जिबिटर्स, हमारे यहाँ जितने भी लिसनर्स हैं उन्होंने ज़रूर इसका लाभ लिया. उसके लिए उनके भी आपसे भी मैं आप सभी लोगों का पुनः एक बार बहुत 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 शुक्रिया. थैंक यू.
Fantastic.
So that concludes our session, very enlightening session, in fact, on opportunities in the lab-grown diamond industry. And we'll be beginning with the next session in the next 5 minutes. Thank you again so much to our esteemed speakers and panelists. And ladies and gentlemen, our esteemed guests, I would request you to not go anywhere. In the next 5 minutes, we'll be beginning with the next session of the evening.